Saturday, friends. Man, my voice. I hope I'm not getting sick. That's not what I need right now. Welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. I've got a fun thing today that I want to share with you guys. I am getting ready for the holiday season, all of the baking and the cooking and all the things that are coming up. So many fun things. And so I've got a recipe I want to test with you guys today. I want to see how this turns out, so I know if I'm going to add this to my holiday lineup this year. So as you guys come in, say hi, let me know you guys are here. And I'm just going to start getting things prepped up and ready to go. I'm excited I was able to do 2 lives this week, 2 days in a row, no doubt. I'll tell you guys what we're going to make as soon as we start getting some people in here. So as you guys come in, let me know you guys are here. So if you missed it yesterday, we made a delicious stuffed pepper casserole. We had that for dinner last night after my husband got home, and he raved about that one. So that one is going definitely into our rotation. So as you guys come in, say hi, let me know you guys are here. I've got a fun recipe for you guys today. Super excited to test this recipe out. Hey Karen, happy Saturday. I'm so glad you made it. So I was just saying that we had that stuffed pepper casserole last night for dinner. My husband raved about that one. So that's definitely going back into our rotation because he was super happy with that one. He said, what did he tell me last night? He said it would have been good with something, I'll think of what it was. He told me there was something that he thought it could have used. And so I think I made a note for that for next time. So we'll make it. But we're doing a fun recipe today. How many of you have heard of, I hate this name, but have heard of Christmas crack? Everybody does it on the holidays. I love it. It's very addicting. The salt, the sweet, all the things that come with that recipe. I love it. I hate the name though. I absolutely hate the name because to me, it just doesn't sound right, but whatever. So I'm doing my version of this. I'm testing a recipe today to see how I like this and if this is going to go into my list of things I'm going to make this year for the holidays. I do a ton of baking every year for the holidays, so I'm excited to try this recipe out and see how I like it. I'm making my version of a Christmas crack. We're using graham crackers instead of saltines. I know it is a horrible name. Hi Mina, welcome, happy Saturday. So we're gonna do graham crackers instead of saltines. We're still doing the toffee exactly the same. And we're doing coconut, toasted coconut, and almonds on this. Hi Dave, welcome. So we're gonna do chocolate almonds and coconut on this because I'm a huge fan of chocolate, coconut, and almonds together. I love like Almond Joy candy bars. So I want to test this recipe and see how this Christmas crack works doing the almonds and the coconut on top of the chocolate instead of just plain nuts. I think it's going to be super tasty, so I'm excited to try this. So we're just going to put down a layer of our graham crackers on our foil. If you guys have ever made Christmas crack before, you know that you have to line your pan with foil or you're never going to get that thing off of there. And you want to make sure that you're not using any broken crackers because they're just not going to work super well. So I am going to take my crackers and I'm going to break them into halves, just into squares like that. And I'm going to line my pan with those. So another thing I realized when I got ready to test this recipe this morning was I realized that I am out of brown sugar, which is kind of annoying. But if you've never made brown sugar before, it is super easy to make brown sugar. So you just take granulated sugar, and for every 1 cup of sugar that you need, you add a tablespoon of molasses. Okay, let's keep the comments clean, please. So anyway, so we're just gonna do 1 layer of graham crackers down here on our pan covered with foil. And then we're gonna start our the toffee over here on the stove. We want to make sure that we're using Yeah, I think the graham crackers are going to be an interesting change, especially changing the topping on it with the coconut and the almonds. I think the graham cracker is going to be a really, really good change to it. So I think I'm excited to try this and see how well it works. I love graham crackers anyway. You know, I had another thought too when I was thinking about doing the graham crackers on this one. You could make a s'mores crack, kind of. And by using the mini marshmallows and all of that kind of stuff on it would be super tasty. I think that would be an interesting change to this recipe. But for now, I'm going to do the coconut and the almonds just because that's one of my favorite flavor combinations. I love doing almonds and coconut together with chocolate. It's a very classic combination. I'm going to get these whole pieces down here because I'm going to need some small pieces in a minute. And I want to get these over here done first. And then I'll get my another piece and I'll do my small ones. But you want to make sure that you have your tray fully covered in these. That way you don't have any of your toffee dripping down inside and sticking to your foil, because that's the worst ever, is when you have your toffee sticking. You don't want your toffee sticking. I love Almond Joys. They are my favorite candy bar. If I can get these open. Sometimes they make these packages so hard to open. Trying to see if I've missed any relevant comments. There we go. Okay. So I was thinking, you know, how many other ways can we do this recipe, do the Christmas crack recipe, and change up the flavors that are in it, and do some different fun things with it. I follow a YouTube channel. She's out of Washington, and she's always making her own brown sugar. And so this morning, when I was a little bit panicked at first because I realized I didn't have any brown sugar, then I remembered that Becky makes her own. So I thought, let's just give that a try. Let's make our own brown sugar, and I think it's going to be tasty. And I'm going to just make it directly in my pot over here on the stove because I'm not going to dirty up a bunch of dishes. If you guys know me, you know that I don't like dirtying up a whole bunch of dishes. That's my least favorite thing ever. So I'm going to mix in my 1 cup of granulated sugar. I've also got my oven preheated to 400 degrees. I'm going to do some toasted coconut, and I'm just using an unsweetened coconut because I think that this is going to have enough sugar and enough sweetness in this with the toffee on it. I don't think we need a whole lot more sugar, so I'm going to just leave this unsweetened coconut, and I think it's going to be perfectly fine. So I'm just going to put a thin layer of coconut on this pan. When you're toasting coconut, you want to be super, super careful that you're watching it because it will burn super quick. I've noticed too, it's really funny that the unsweetened coconut will actually burn faster than the sweetened coconut. Don't ask me why, but it does. So I'm going to put this in the oven. Don't let me forget it, guys, because I will get sidetracked and forget it. So we're going to put in here our 1 cup of sugar. And our 1 tablespoon of vanilla, or not vanilla, but molasses. And I may need to, run some hot water on this. Oh, good grief. I haven't used this molasses in a while, and it's not wanting to open. Hold on. Okay, maybe I can get it open this time. Oh my goodness. There we go, got it, woohoo! All right, so we're gonna put in our tablespoon of molasses. And I'm gonna just use my measuring spoon and we're just gonna stir this. This is essentially how you make brown sugar, is you just take your molasses and you mix it all in. And I'm not gonna worry too much about this molasses being fully mixed into this sugar because it's gonna heat up when I start melting my sugar with my butter to make my toffee. But I definitely do want to get it mixed in as well as I can. I don't do a whole lot of stuff with molasses. As you can tell, I don't use it very often. So let me know you guys are here. Say hi if you've hopped on. If you are new to my channel, say hi because I would love to know. We've got some new people here. And the darker you want your brown sugar, the more molasses you're going to add to your sugar. And you can see it's starting to turn brown sugar color, which is great. Just going to keep mashing this in here real quick. I want to get it mostly mixed in, but I'm not worried about it being all the way. I've actually thought about starting to make my own brown sugar. Hi Marilyn, welcome. So if you're new or if you just got on here, we are making a new version, a version that I want to test out of a Christmas crack, which is typically made with your saltine crackers and the toffee. I am making a kind of an almond joy version of that. So we're going to make our toffee. We're using graham crackers instead of saltines. And we are doing, we're still doing the chocolate. We're going to do chopped almonds and toasted coconut on top of it. Okay, friends, look how that worked. We now have fresh homemade brown sugar because I did not check my pantry and made sure that I had some. I think that's going to be perfect in there. I'm going to wash my hand real quick. All right, so now we need a half a stick of butter to go in here with our sugar so we can make our toffee. We're going to do this on a medium heat. So we're going to bring this to a boil. And we're going to bring it to a boil and let it slowly melt everything down. And then we're going to let it boil for 3 minutes once it comes to a boil. So I'm going to get this stirred up real quick. And then we're going to let the heat do the rest. We have our graham crackers already ready to go. So when our toffee is done, we're going to pour that over the top of these. And this is going to go in the oven for 5 minutes. Then we're going to pull it out. We're going to put our chocolate chips on top of it. We're going to put our toasted coconut and our chopped almonds. And I hope this is going to work. And I hope it's going to be delicious. I'm going to keep an eye on my coconut, see how fast that happened. It's not done yet. I still want to toast it just a tad bit more. But I want to give it a stir just so that it evenly toasts. The other thing that I want to make sure too is that I'm not over toasting this because it's going to go back in the oven when we put the chocolate chips on it. And I don't want the coconut to burn while it's in there with the chocolate and everything. So we have to be really careful about how much toasting we're putting on our coconut. But I'm excited about this. I think it's going to be tasty. So right now I am stockpiling nuts. I get these on clearance all the time at Kroger. As you guys all know, nuts are outrageously expensive. It is horrible how expensive they are. So I'm getting these almonds I got for $1.80 at Fred Meyer, which is our local Kroger store. They're just roasted almonds. And I want to chop these I don't want fine chop on them. I still want some chunks of almond. I want to be able to know that it's almonds. That looks about good. Sorry for the noise. I should have chopped these before I started my live, but I didn't get around to it. It's been a morning. Trying to get my husband off to work this morning. I think that's probably good. Like I said, I don't want a really fine chop on the almonds. All right, it's starting to melt. I'm gonna pull my coconut out. It is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. All right, I'm gonna set this over here. I am so excited for all of the holiday baking. I don't know about you guys, but I love the holiday baking season. They are outrageous. Everything is outrageous right now. And when you've got tons of holiday baking to do, like most of us do, you have to save wherever you can. And so I've been getting chocolate chips and nuts on clearance right now. Fred Meyer has an incredible sale for $2.49 a pound for butter, salted or unsalted, no limit. So I've got several of those, and I'm just trying to stockpile all the things that I need for baking and cooking for the holiday season. Okay, so this is already starting to come to a boil. We're gonna stir this. We're gonna let this boil for 5 minutes. So what are some things that you guys are excited about making over the holidays? Is there a special candy or cookie or any kind of a holiday treat that you guys make that your family really looks forward to? We have several. It is a great price for butter, definitely. That's why I'm actually getting as much of it as I possibly can right now. All right, so that's gonna melt. So we are doing, let's see, we're doing my mother-in-law's cornbread dressing. That was her recipe. She actually, I was very fortunate. She shared that recipe with me just a couple of months before she passed away. She had colon cancer, and she lived with us for the last 7 months of her life, I think. And so she was with us for that Thanksgiving, and I was so fortunate that I was able to get that recipe from her. My husband looks forward to it every year, but I've had to adjust the recipe because it makes a massive amount, and we don't need that much. There's not a huge group of us that's usually together for Thanksgiving, so we don't need a ton of it. All right, so this is coming to a boil. I'm going to set my timer for 3 minutes. Okay, we got our timer set for 3 minutes. We're gonna let our toffee sit over here on our medium heat and cook down. I make the cranberry sauce too. I love making cranberry sauce. It's my favorite. I'm gonna grab a little bowl for our nuts. We make, so we have several recipes, as I said. So I do the, my mother-in-law's cornbread dressing, and then my aunt on the other side of the family, she had a recipe for, we call them bonbons, was what they were in our family. They're not really bonbons. That's what we call them. They are incredible, and it's a recipe that I have shown it in a short on my channel last Christmas. It's something that I can't share the recipe for. It's a family recipe, and my aunt and my cousin both have asked me not to share it. It's just something that our family makes, and so but I will share what they look like again this year because they are absolutely incredible. They're super, super tasty. Oh, I have an aunt, or I had an aunt. We lost her several years ago. She was Sicilian, and she made panettone, and it was so good. Okay, this is almost. We're gonna have to spread this out on our graham crackers once we get this off of the stove. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my heat off and let this just sit here and finish boiling for the last 30 seconds that we've got on here. And then we've got our graham crackers right here. Our timer is just about ready to go off. I'm excited to try this. I know it's gonna have to sit for a little bit before we can break it into pieces, but I can actually go stick this in my freezer, and that will help it cool down quite a bit faster. So, all right, so now we're just gonna take our caramel and we're gonna dump this right over the top of our graham crackers, and we're gonna use a spatula to spread this out. I love caramel anything. All right, so I have my spatula, and I'm just gonna move really quick. You have to move really, really fast with this because that caramel's gonna start to set up, and we don't want it setting up in clumps like this. We wanna make sure we get it all spread out in a good thin layer. And I should tell you that I store my chocolate chips in my freezer. So when you see them, there's nothing wrong with them. They are perfectly fine. I just store them in my freezer so they don't go bad because we don't use, I don't do a ton of baking the regular time of the year. And so I stockpile my not graham crackers, but my chocolate chips and stuff go in my freezer so they stay nice and fresh and are ready for baking. I don't like using the chocolate chips out of the freezer for cookies because I don't think they look very good. But I love using them for stuff that you're going to melt the chocolate down like this. All right, so there's that. We're going to put our chocolate on here, and this is going to go in our 400-degree oven for just a couple minutes. We're gonna let this melt for just a couple minutes in the oven, and then we're gonna pull it out and we're gonna use our spatula to spread out our chocolate. And then we're gonna do our coconut and our almonds on this. I think this is gonna be delicious. I'm just eyeballing the chocolate. I'm not too concerned about getting it exactly right because, like I said, we're going to spread this chocolate out. All right, so this is going to go in our 400-degree oven for just a couple of minutes, long enough that we can, about 5 minutes. That's going to be delicious. All right, let me get caught up on comments here. The nougat candy with, oh, so it's like with like gumdrops kind of? Is that what you're talking about? Is that the kind of nougat candy? I've always wanted to make that. I love to bake. I really do. I love to bake. I just don't do as much of it during the non-holiday season because my husband is not a huge sweet fan. He doesn't he just doesn't eat a lot of sweets. It's not his favorite thing. So we don't typically I don't make a lot of, I mean, I do make like muffins and that kind of stuff, but if I do make things during the non-holiday season, it's stuff that I bring to the youth group at church on Wednesdays, and they love it. The nougat candy's easy. I may have to try it this year. I've been trying to really get myself out of my comfort zone and try some new things. So I may have to try that this year. I may have to give it a shot and see how the how I do with the nougat candy. If you have a good recipe, Karen, would you share it? That would be awesome. So I am making a version of Christmas crack. It's a recipe that I'm testing for the holiday season this year. Instead of using saltine crackers, we're using graham crackers. And instead of just doing chopped nuts on top of it, we're doing a mixture of toasted coconut and chopped almonds, kind of more like an almond joy type thing. Well, thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. I do love trying new things. I do love pushing myself to try new recipes and try new things all the time. So I probably will try it this year. Like I said, I've never tried it, but I'm excited to see how this turns out. I really am. I'm excited to see how this comes together and if I like the combination. I think I will like the combination just because I love the combination of chocolate, almonds, and coconut together. If you're not a big coconut fan, this may not be the thing for you, but I absolutely love coconut. I'm a big coconut fan. My dogs are in here cruising around. They're hoping that something's gonna fall on the floor. So if you're new and you haven't subscribed yet, I would love to have you subscribe and become part of our family. We've got a huge series coming up starting November 1st. It is all holidays from the 1st of November until the end of December. We're doing a whole bunch of fun holiday things, from holiday decorating and shopping and cooking and baking and all the things. Chocolate salami. That's interesting. Pablo. Hey. Let me grab my dog real fast. Hey. Go. He's a little old man and he gets confused. Let's look at it real quick. It's looking good. Okay, I'm intrigued by that one. Chocolate salami. That's interesting. Share. Tell me something about it because that sounds really interesting. Also, guys, give this video a big thumbs up for me. That would really help out my channel. I have a friend on YouTube. He actually is the worship pastor at our church. He has a YouTube channel as well. And him and I are always, even though we are not even in the same area in YouTube, he's a gamer, I do cooking, but we're always competing with our subs. And right now he's beating me. So I need more subs. Real quick, I need subs. Sorry, I had to let my dogs out. I've never heard of it. Butter, eggs, chocolate, sugar, and crushed cookies. That would be awesome. I would definitely love to hear about that because that sounds like something that several people I know would enjoy. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get our chocolate smooth out. I'm gonna turn off my oven. They can probably go just a little bit longer. They're not quite melted enough. We're getting there. I have honestly never heard of that, but it sounds interesting. So do you slice it and that's why it looks like salami? And what kind of crushed cookies do you put in it? So I was telling you about the recipe that I make every year, my aunt's bonbons that she used to make. So those take an ingredient that I can't even find here anymore. I think I can find it on Amazon. I'm going to look this year before I start making them, see if I can find it. But they have paraffin wax in them, like in the chocolate. I guess back in the day, back in the 70s when she was making this recipe all the time, paraffin wax was big that they put in chocolate. And I had no idea. So I made them the first time several years ago, and I told my cousin, I'm like, why are these not turning out like your mom's? I don't understand. And she's like, well, did you put the paraffin wax in it? And I'm like, no. And she's like, well, you have to because that's part of the recipe, and that's what makes them, turn out like they're supposed to is the paraffin wax. And so that really kind of blew my mind a little bit. But I am intrigued by that. I'm intrigued by that chocolate salami. That sounds interesting. So if you've just popped on and you haven't said hi yet, say hi. I know it's weird and you don't see it anymore, Karen. You don't see that kind of stuff anymore, but it was different. It was definitely different. Yeah, older recipes. That's what I'm doing right now with my my holiday series that's starting in November. Is I'm pulling out all of my old cookbooks from my grandmother, and I've got stuff from way back in the 50s and 60s, and there is some really fun candy and cookie recipes from back in those days. Plus, there's some really interesting just like side dishes and things. So I'm excited to try some of those this year. Everything that I share on this holiday series is all going to be from the older stuff. Not everything really old, but probably from 90s and older is probably where it's going to be. I love the older recipes. I went to visit my cousin. We met up in Bend, Oregon, which is over by Sisters, a couple hours from where I live. And we went and did some antiquing. And it was so fun. She knows my love of old cookbooks. And so she was constantly looking for these old cookbooks as we were just going to all these different antique shops. And I came home with a huge stack of old cookbooks. And so I'm excited to use some of those this year and pull some of those old recipes. Some of the old church cookbooks are the ones that I love looking at. So I have a stack sitting on the footstool by my chair. And so in the evening, I sit in there watching YouTube typically or something and going through those books and just putting little stickers on those so I know these are the recipes that I'm going to be doing this year. Because I do a lot of baking in the holidays. All right, let's see. Get our chocolate. All right, so we have our almonds. Maybe we should do our coconut first. Let's do our coconut first. And I may have toasted too much coconut, but that's okay. I can put it in a Ziploc bag and I'll use it for something else. This smells So good. And with the coconut hitting this, wow. It smells incredible. All right, now we're gonna go in with some almonds. We're probably gonna have to push the almonds down into this a little bit to get the almonds to stick to the chocolate and the toffee. But I think this is gonna be so good. Yum. This looks incredible. This looks so, so good. So there is our version of Christmas crack. It's gonna have to cool because it is like molten lava right now. But what I love about putting it on foil is you can just pull the foil right off of it. It comes off and it really keeps it from having a sticky mess on your cookie sheet, because that's the last thing I want to clean up is a sticky mess. I've heard of a Yum Yum cake. Yeah, you can't find green cherries anymore unless they're candied for like fruitcake. Oh, the Lorna Doones. Okay. Chopped pistachios or other preferred. Interesting. I haven't done a lot with the Lorna Doone cookies before. I'm excited to eat this. I'm going to have to resist and stay out of it. The first year that my husband and I made Christmas crack together, it's been many years ago, we made it. He burned himself because he couldn't stay out of it. He thought, oh, it's going to be okay. No, it's not. You have to let it cool because you will seriously burn yourself. That is so interesting, Marilyn. Thank you for sharing that recipe. You know, I believe I'll have to go back and look, but for some reason that recipe for Yum Yum cake sounds it sounds familiar on Moss Family TV. It sounds like something that Fallon did. She's done a couple of cakes that I've never heard of before. She did a pig in a poke cake, and I've never heard of that one either. Or pig picking cake, that's what it is. Pig picking cake. I never heard of that either. And she did that one a couple of months ago on her channel. I love watching Moss Family TV. Fallon and Titus are hilarious. You're fine, Marilyn. Don't worry about it. That's interesting. I'm definitely going to have to try that because it sounds interesting. So do you like it with the pistachios better than anything else? I'm a big pistachio fan. So I have to tell you guys, I made my husband pancakes this morning for the first time in quite a while. And you guys went with me out to Thistledown, oh gosh, probably about a month or so ago. We went out and got some produce and stuff. And I grabbed this bag of hazelnut pancake mix and waffle mix. We used it this morning for the first time. He told me Thistledown is going to be closing next Sunday is their last day for the season. They're closed. And this is where we got this. And my husband was telling me, he's like, where did you get that? And I said, at Thistledown. And he said, well, aren't they closing soon? And I said, yes, they are. And I said, why? And he goes, go get 2 more bags of that before they close. So we're going to be making a trip out to Thistledown. I'll bring you guys along with me because they're going to have all of their produce on closeout. So that's going to be a good time for me to go out and get some more produce to get stocked up for the fall and winter, and to get a couple more bags of this incredible pancake mix. They do, I think they do sell this online. I'll find a link and put it in the description if you guys want to try it. Yeah, I do think I like the green. I do. There's a bark that I do that is pistachios and cranberries with white chocolate, and it's so beautiful. I have made the church window cookies before. I used to make them with my grandmother with the colored marshmallows. My grandmother and I used to make those. I also make another bark with dark chocolate. I got this recipe many, many years ago. It's melted dark chocolate with pistachios, cranberries, chopped up dried apricots, and there's another nut on there. I can't remember what it is. I have to look at my recipe. Anyway, I love all the jewel colors. It looks like Christmas to me with the green of the pistachios and the red of the cranberries and the bright orange from the apricots. It just all looks so beautiful on top of that dark chocolate. It really pops. It's one of my husband's favorites because it's not super sweet, because we use a really good quality dark chocolate and you don't put any sugar or anything in it. So he really enjoys that one. Yeah, my grandma and I used to make those all the time. The church window cookies were always so fun. I also make a pistachio cookie at Christmas time that we put cranberries in, and we use pistachio pudding in the cookie dough recipe. So you have these really beautiful green cookies with chopped up pistachios and dried cranberries in them. And so you get that really green and red festive color for Christmas. I made a whole bunch of those last year for the 400 cookies that I made for our Christmas Eve service at church. And they were definitely a big hit. If I can get pistachios on sale again this year or on clearance, I'll be making some more of those for Christmas Eve. Because this year I'm making 450 cookies for Christmas Eve. It's firming up. I know it is still like molten lava, but you can see the caramel, how it makes those strings. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't try it. Maybe it's too hot. It's a little hot. We'll hold on a second. I just love the smell of it though, with the coconut. You have a little bit of coconut, a little bit of almond, the chocolate. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, friends. That is incredible. That is so good. That combination with the graham crackers under there and that chocolate and the coconut and the almonds. Oh my gosh. Okay. I found a new Christmas crack. Oh, wow. The graham crackers just add something different. And you know what I forgot, friends? I forgot to put the salt on it. So I have this fleur de sel, and it's not too late. We can still put it on. Fleur de sel is a flaky sea salt. I get it at Trader Joe's typically, but it's just a fine flake salt. And I'm not going to do a bunch, but I just want that little bit of salty. If my almonds had salt on them, I probably wouldn't do this. Hey, Veronica, so good to see you. Haven't heard from you in a while. So if my almonds had a little bit of salt on them, I would not do this step. But because they were roasted, unsalted almonds, I am going to put that little bit of salt on there because I think it really needs it. I think anything sweet like this definitely has room for a little bit of salt on it. So let's put just a tiny pinch on ours, the piece that we're taking a bite out of. And let's check this and see with the salt added to it what this is. That's what it needed. Wow. So Veronica, we just made a new version of Christmas crack, and this is delicious. We used graham crackers instead of saltines. We made our toffee like normal, and then we used chocolate chips, toasted coconut, and chopped almonds. And then I just finished the top of it just now with some fleur de sel, sea salt. Oh my goodness. I'm going to be making several batches of this for Christmas Eve service at church, I'm positive, because it is so good. Let me see if I can. It's hot. That is incredible. That is absolutely the combination with that little bit of salt on there to finish it. That was exactly what this needed. Exactly what it needed. My toffee's starting to harden up really nice, which is what you want for Christmas crack. Yeah, this is gonna be a huge hit at church, I'm positive, because it is that good. But you can see how it just peels right off of the foil. Well, there's my toffee. But it's addicting, friends. It really is. You're welcome, Marilyn. Oh my gosh, Veronica. So Christmas crack is a recipe that dates way back. It's usually made with saltine crackers, and you make a toffee out of brown sugar, butter, and you cook that, and then you pour that over the top of your crackers. You put it in the oven and you bake it. You finish it with chocolate, let the chocolate melt, smear it around, get it covered, and then finish it with any kind of nut that you want. But thanks for coming, Karen. It was so good to see you. So then you finish it with whatever kind of nut you wanted to. But as I said, I love the combination of coconut and almond together with chocolate. It's my favorite. And so I wanted to see if I could create a Christmas crack using those flavors. I still think it would be fun to try it too with the saltine crackers. I just didn't have saltine crackers. I had these graham crackers that I needed to use, so I went ahead and used those instead. But this is it. It definitely lives up to a name, crack. It's addicting. It is. I don't like the name though. I hate the name. But it is so good. Wow. That it just makes a really crunchy toffee on top. I wasn't sure about the saltines either until I made it. And I hadn't made it for the first time until like 2 years ago, I think. I had never made it before, ever. I'd seen it, but I was always leery because of the saltines. But they actually do give it a really good crunch, really good crack to it. But it's super good and super easy. Minimal ingredients. Use whatever kind of toppings you have, but it's really easy. It only took me about, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, and that's because I was talking. But it's not really a hard recipe. It's 3 minutes of boil time with the toffee, and then 5 to 7 minutes in the oven. So it really doesn't take very long. How are you liking Russia, Veronica? I need to stay out of this, but I can't. But see, when you say crack, it breaks into these fun pieces, and it's delicious. So I've never made it with white sugar before. I know for making toffee you need brown sugar, but so I'm loving the stuff that you're posting, Veronica. So I realized right before this live that I didn't have any brown sugar, so I had to make some. So if you've never made brown sugar before, for every 1 cup of brown sugar that you need, it's 1 tablespoon of molasses, and you mix those together, and that makes your brown sugar. And then you can just proceed with your recipe. I usually always have brown sugar, but there's times like today where I didn't have it, and I don't know how the white sugar would work. I've never tried it that way. So it's then I remembered that I follow Becky from Maker Homestead. She's out of Washington, and she makes her own brown sugar all the time. She never buys brown sugar anymore. That's interesting that they wouldn't have molasses in Russia, but maybe they don't. Does Amazon ship to Russia? Do you know? Because you could always buy molasses on Amazon and just have it shipped. So what are some fun, interesting things that you've seen, like as far as food-wise goes in Russia, Veronica? Oh, what is it called? Yeah, it probably is called something different. Oh, they do really? That's interesting. If you guys have just popped on and you're new, say hi, please. If you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. This stuff is incredible. Oh, wow. Interesting. I don't know about Russian culture or Russian food. I haven't really researched it very much. But I hope you're going to start making some on your channel. I would love to see it. Oh, fun. So you guys have another homestead now that you're on in Russia, or are you living in a smaller area? Oh, fun. That will be so exciting. Are you guys going to do that on YouTube still? I had just found you guys before you moved, and my husband and I were just starting to get into watching what you guys were doing. What is that? I've never heard of that before. My husband and I loved watching you on YouTube. He now wants to have one of those outdoor wood burning ovens like you guys had because he wants to cook outside. I'm like, well, better you than me because I'm not sure about that. Oh, fun. That's awesome. Do we have any new people on here that haven't been to my channel before? Yeah, I know. Veronica's gonna be funny. If he decides to do it, I'm gonna make him do the video because I don't know if I want to. Oh, it's an indoors thing. Nice. No, he wants like the wood oven that you guys had on your last homestead. That's what he wants. We got about 5 more minutes, and then I gotta clean up because our Ducks are playing at 12:30 today, and I can't miss that game. I always try to do my lives, work those around when the Ducks are playing, so I don't miss a football game. As you can tell, I'm a huge Duck fan. So if anybody has any questions last minute they want to ask me before we end our live, I would be happy to answer those. He's been looking on Facebook Marketplace, but he said if he can't find one on there, he's just going to build one. And he's pretty handy. He should be able to do that. So. I'm probably going to do another who's your question for, Marilyn? Oh, we're probably going to take some of this to church tomorrow, most likely, because we don't need it. I don't need all of it. I've already eaten too much of it, and I've only had like 2 pieces, but that's enough. So we're probably going to bring a bunch of it to church tomorrow, because everybody at church, they always know when I come in the door, I always have something, always. So I have elder lunch tomorrow, so I have to make another batch of those apple cider donuts that you guys saw me make a while back. I'm making a batch of those, plus I'm making a batch of, hey, I'm making a batch of homemade bagels this afternoon because I'm doing a bagel charcuterie board for the elders lunch tomorrow. So I gotta make some bagels after. I'm gonna watch the game first, but I'm gonna make a batch of bagels and a batch of apple cider donuts for them for their lunch tomorrow. So, and I'll probably put some of this crack on a plate and put that with their lunch too, because I'm sure they'll eat it. I don't know why my nose is itching so much right now, but it is. All right, friends. Well, I am going to clean up my kitchen and I am going to go get ready to watch the football game. They kick off in about a half an hour. I've got time to clean up and move this somewhere so I don't touch it because I don't want to eat any more of it. And get ready for my Duck game because I can't wait to watch the Ducks play Illinois today. It's going to be super exciting. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you haven't hit that notification bell, do that because you never know when I'm going to do a live. Like yesterday was a surprise. I probably will do another one next week at some point during the week. We'll do another live of something. And then next Saturday I need to look and see. I have a baby shower to go to on Saturday, so I may be doing my live a little bit early in the day or maybe a little bit later in the day. But I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you updated on the community page on my YouTube channel, let you know when we're doing the Saturday live. And then next week, just make sure that you're subscribed and you hit the notification bell so you're notified when we are going live. And friends, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you guys in the comments down below. Yes, guys, make this version of Christmas crack. It's super good. See you guys.